Jai Gurudev, everybody. So I decided to be live with all of you because right now you see this world is going through a terrible crisis and everybody is panicking everywhere. And this is one way to keep in contact with all of you. But you know that I'm always with you. But it's nice also to hear each another. So there is few questions which people have written. So I will ask Swami Rivatikantananda to ask a question, then I can answer it.
So Guruji, the first question is, how do we deal with our emotions and feelings of fear in this time? And what can we learn from this coronavirus pandemic?
So, it's true that in this time, the emotions are up and down, everything is very panicking, Everywhere people are concerned about this pandemic situation. We have to see, very often in this busy world, we don't have much time with ourselves. Firstly, that is what is teaching us, to take time with ourselves and go inside. Whenever we go outside, we hear always the negative effect of things. We see, we hear, we panic. But it's not about that. It's about introverting oneself. You see, this have given opportunity. You will see that nowadays everybody is close. Everybody with their family. This gives one opportunity to connect firstly with the people which is dear to us, which is near to us, to share something which we have never want to share. Our spiritual path, our ways, our way of thinking. We speak about so many things, but yet we forget about our spiritual path itself, to share it with others. And this is a time that it brings us to center in ourselves and with our family also. Give them a different understanding of what really is our spiritual life. We go in emotions, does that change anything? No, it doesn't change anything. So it's a time where you have to go inside and not panicking. You see, we have seen so many, in the past 20 years, so many flus, so many viruses, and so many things you have seen. But you're still here. So hold strongly upon your positiveness and hold strongly upon your spiritual path, your inner spiritual path. It's a time to really, if you have not read the Bhagavad Gita, dive your mind into the reading of the Holy Scriptures. Get to deepen your understanding about yourself, about why you are here, and really understand how important is life and how wonderful is life, that grace which God have given you, which very often we take it for granted because we are so busy. So nature have called upon everyone to be in a calm state, to look inwardly, to sit quietly. So take this time to go inside and connect with yourself and with your dear one and spread that positiveness around you.
Guruji, thank you for reading my question. This situation has showed us that money cannot solve our problems in a time of crisis. We are not educated enough on how to live without money. Going forward, what do you think we should prioritize learning and teaching our youth so that we can survive even when the economy does not?
It's a lovely question, actually, because you see, throughout our life, we have been taught to work, 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 to make money, make money, to become like a robot. When we lose that connection with our true self, of course, you see, the world outside have taught that without money we can't live. But this is another situation right now where you are forced to see that you can live very simple and in a very easy way. Life carries on. You know, when life becomes simple, you will learn to appreciate life in a more beautiful way. It's true that money can't save your life. You may have lots of money, but when death is knocking at your door, you realize that that money itself becomes useless. But then it makes you realize what is the most important thing. Is it money the most important thing, or life is the most important thing? When we look at the situation right now, we see that everybody is bothered about themselves, about saving themselves. How should they be cured? What should take precaution about? It's not about others, it's about yourself. And this is, again, the message of knowing yourself. So, do your japam, teach the right things to your kids, to the generation, that money is not everything. Without life, your money will be nothing. Money can buy many things, but the most important things of life, money can't buy. You may have a beautiful bed worth hundreds of thousands of euros, but if you can't sleep, what's the use of this bed? You may have wonderful food, but if you can't swallow that food, you can't eat that food and enjoy that food, what's the use of it? Like that, money can buy many things, but the essence of things, money can't buy. The essence of who you are, money can't buy. And that is what life is teaching oneself right now. To appreciate life and to really be grateful for that gift what God have given you. Because without life, you can't do anything. But without money, you can do many things.
Dave, Guruji, if you have to stay at home with your whole family, which for me is worse than the coronavirus, how not to kill them all? How not to be nervous and irritated by them? If, like me, I prefer to be alone most of the time.
Just now, you're just saying to appreciate the family. You see, there's the beauty into that, So what you have to do, it's true that situation have forced oneself to be with the family, to learn to accept the family, to accept each another. So, like the question said, you don't need to kill each another. It's important that you have also your free times, your silence times with yourself. So it's important also to retire to your room and take time in silence with yourself. Do your meditation. Read your holy scriptures. Read the Bhagavad Gita. Read the Bhagavatam. meditate upon that. And of course, when you are with the family, share that what you have read, share that understanding with them also. You will see that there is much to learn from each another. And much to be grateful also about each another. Because you see, what karma brought us together is also for a learning process. And this is what, when you are together, you can learn to appreciate each other and really to look at also yourself, how you are reacting into that. If you are getting angry, you are getting nervous and so on, this you have to look at, that you have to change certain things in yourself itself.
Guruji, in this moment of despair for people close to us that are not devotees, how do you recommend us to comfort them about the inevitability of death, or even to help them connect to spiritual life?
You see, in this time, it's a reminder, like I said earlier, it's a reminder of life itself. Death is inevitable, and we have to learn to accept that. But beyond death, we have to appreciate life in itself. If we can't appreciate life, how would you appreciate death? You can't appreciate death. So if somebody is full of fear, and you have that understanding, you have to talk about it, explain to them, but it is not the end of everything. So in this time, even people which is not spiritual, people which is not devotee, doesn't mean that you can't speak with them. So talk. There was a time where you were scared to talk about your spiritual path. You will be judged, you will be criticized, and so on. Now you have time to sit and explain. Whether they want to hear, they hear it. If they don't want to hear, it's also they will hear it. That will make something inside of their brain, will make them think, about life itself. About how fertile is life itself. You see, when we think that we take life for granted, we go through life taking everything. Yes, we have long time to live. We will do so and so afterwards, when we have time. But you see how nature is showing you that you don't have time. If you want to change, it's not about changing afterwards. It's about changing now. And change in a right way. And learn to respect, like you respect others, they also have to learn to respect you. So even if people are not devotee, you can always have a discussion with them. You can always explain. Because you as devotee, you have a certain joy inside of you. You have a certain happiness inside of you. And that's what makes you different. Even before these coronavirus things, I've been saying, devotees are special. It's not that corona will not visit you. It will visit you, but how you will take it is a different matter. You hold strongly upon the divine name of the Lord, and be happy. Don't become miserable in this time of misery. Be happy. Share that joy which God has given you inside of you. And stay positive.
So leading on from this question, can we speak more openly about God and love in all areas of society, whether public or private? Or will we always have to take into account the characteristics of the audience that is listening to us?
No, it is not. You should not be shy in talking about God or talking about your spiritual path, your spiritual life. That is also one thing which very often people are very scared of speaking, thinking how people will judge them. So it's not about judgment. It's about being truth to yourself and being who you are. People will learn to appreciate you much more when you are yourself. But if you want to hide something, people start to imagine so many things. What are you hiding? Why are you hiding? You know, they create their own stories of things. Don't be shy to talk about God. It's a reminder, you know, again, all these things, what is happening right now, it's a reminder of life itself. It's a reminder of the grace of God in your life itself.
Guruji, in our devotee sanghas, as we try to deal with issues amongst each other, sometimes our devotee friends cross the boundaries of respect. How should we deal with it, and how should we heal our broken heart towards sangha members? When one disrespects us, is it the ego that is broken or the heart?
The heart don't get broken so easily. What get broken is the ego itself, you know, because your ego get hurt. That's why you feel hurt. You see, especially when you are among devotees in a sangha, there is always one who understands differently. And this is inevitable also, because this is part of life itself. If everybody will just agree with you, what would you learn? You will not learn anything. Sometimes when somebody disagrees with you, it makes you think in a different way. So learn to listen to each another. Before taking any quick decision, it's important to learn to listen. Whether you agree or not, it don't cost anything to listen to each other. Whether they accept your point of view or they don't accept your point of view. And of course, you can always discuss as a human being, as brothers and sisters, or, you know, as devotees, you can always discuss about things.
Guruji, from time to time, I keep asking this question to myself, and probably many people do that also. The question is, why am I so stupid? So is there a way to make less mistakes and mislead myself in my own life and stop to waste opportunities?
Well, look, if you will make mistake and you will learn from your mistake. As long as you don't learn from your mistake, you keep doing it, of course, then you are stupid. But learn quickly from it. It's better. Then you don't need to be stupid. What to say? There's all kind of people. Some people understand things very quickly, and some people doesn't understand things very quickly. So they will keep making the same mistake, and well, hope with the hope that they will understand, they will learn from it. And you see, one thing is that what they don't understand is that more they keep being stupid, more that situation becomes stronger and stronger, and more difficult it is. So that's why it is said that more quicker you learn from your mistake and not doing it again and again, faster you will learn and faster you will grow out of it.
Guruji, how do we live and spread our Vaishnava values in the world right now? What do we have to cultivate the most to support your mission the way you want?
You see, right now, what you have to do, firstly, you have to educate yourself deeply into that philosophy of Vaishnavism. It's a philosophy of love and humility, you know, because to be a Vaishnava, one must be humble, you know, and only through a humble heart that one will really learn to spread that love of God. Because to be a Vaishnava, we can't just say, yes, we are a Vaishnava, that's it. You know, to be a Vaishnava, we have to know what the Lord wants from us. He wants that we become like Him. He wants that we reflect His love. And He wants that we spread His love. And to spread his love, we have to become like him. Our mind must transform. That's what Bhagavad Gita is about. The transforming of the mind from a human mind to a divine mind. When the mind have transformed from human to the divine, he reflects for each part of you, for your action, through your talking. And this is what a Vaishnava is about, to spread the love of the Lord.
Guruji, what is the true power of prayer?
Look, right now it's a time where we are reminded to pray continuously. And to know its power, it's in chanting his name. And the true power of prayer, when we have this relationship with him, when we can feel him, that you are not alone, that he is with you. And this is the power of prayer.
How can I discover my life purpose when all I feel is anxiety? How do you become the person you were meant to be when you feel so lost?
Look, to know the purpose of life, you must trust in life itself. If you don't trust in life, what are you talking about the purpose of life? Often people say, yes, I want to do my dharma. But do you trust in your dharma? Do you trust in what God have given you now? Do you enjoying what he have given you at that precise moment? You see, if you can't handle what God have given you now at that precise moment, how would you really do something greater? Everybody wants to do something great for this world. Everybody wants to achieve something wonderful. But all this starts firstly with the little things which he have given you. If you can't appreciate that little things that he have given you now, you will never be able to do your dharma. So learn to accept now what he have given you. That will bring the real dharma to you. It will attract the real dharma to you.
Guruji, it seems that Europe has been badly affected by this coronavirus, more so than any other place. Is there anything about our culture or attitude that needs to change as a result of this?
Well, it's not only about Europe. If we see, even Mauritius itself is closed down since yesterday. And many countries, even in India here where we are. So it's a reminder of, again, about life itself, how we are living our life. We take life for granted. We don't appreciate life. And like that, now we are learning to appreciate life. You don't need to be fear. Whenever we see around right now, we see that there is so much fear. Fear is something which stops you in advancing. Everywhere, throughout life, you see, throughout the years, you see, there were always fear about something. Fear about Ebola, fear about SARS, fear about terrorism, fear about this, fear about that. Now fear about Corona. But through fear, are you being free? No, you can't be free. You get paranoid. And this is what is happening right now in Europe. Everybody is in great paranoia. Great fear is everywhere. Everybody is thinking carefully the next move, and you have to take your precaution. You have to follow the rules, but you have to do it also in a very relaxed way. By staying at home doesn't mean that it's the end of everything. No, enjoy your place. Sit down, meditate, chant the name of God, do your japam. Look, I will tell you something. We've been here in India for the past 1 month. where everything was closed down everywhere, you know. Everywhere else in Europe was closed down. All the holy places, that make you think also how much people have faith in their God, you know. They've been closing God house everywhere, you know. You see, Mecca is closed down, Vatican is closed down, churches are closed down. Go to the temple here, all the temples are full with people. Even when they say the temples must close down, all around the people are sitting. That's how much trust they have, how much faith they have. Doesn't mean that they are not taking their precaution. They are taking their precaution. They are wearing the mask. But their faith in God, that's the most strong things. You know? So wherever you are, you know, you don't need to go in panic and worry and fear. That will not solve the situation. It'll aggravate the situation. Relax. Do your sadhana. Trust. Take time to go inside. Take time to build your relationship with people around you. Love them, you know, because love is not only the people which is near to you. It's a time to reflect upon that also. Spread that love from wherever you are. Let's connect like this.
Guruji, in the commentaries of Your Bhagavad Gita, you teach us that Bhishma represents the ego and that he follows dharma above all else, even when he knows that what he is doing is wrong. Should we in this time follow his example? If yes, why? And if not, also why?
Look, Bhishma was very dharmic, yeah, and whatever he was doing for the seat of Hastinapur, for the seat, you know. But for the seat doesn't mean that you can't use your intellect. You know, God have given you an intellect also, have given you a brain to think what is right and what is wrong. In spite of doing his dharma to protect the seat, he could not think properly. That's what Krishna pointed out before, you know, on the arrow bed. He said to him, as a reminder that, look, you are the grand seer. You could use your strength and power to stop when Draupadi was being dragged into the court and so on. But you didn't, because you think that your word was more. But sometimes you have to learn even to say no to your own words, what you have given. So dharma doesn't mean only just to blindly follow what they say. No, it's also about using your intellect, which God has given you. Use it in a right way, in a proper way. So that's why whatever he was doing, in one way he was right, in another way he was wrong. So following his example, why should you follow his example? Bhagavan Krishna have given the whole Gita, follow what he have said. So Bhagavan Krishna have talked about one dharma. No? So you have to follow what Lord Krishna have said in the Gita. You don't need to follow what Bhishma have done with his life.
Guruji, overall, would you say this situation is having a positive or negative outcome for the world?
Well, look, it's sad to see so many people dying like flies. You know, everywhere you hear every day how many hundreds and hundreds of people are dying. But in one way you see that nature is being blooming. Today itself somebody have sent me the picture of Venice where dolphins is swimming in the channel. Fishes are full everywhere. Swan is coming. A few days ago, somebody sent me a picture of China itself, how the pollution has disappeared from that place where it was always covered. You see, nature is blooming itself. Now, that makes you realize how much pollution human beings have created, and how this have affect not only nature, it have affect ourselves also. Lately you have seen, that Brazil was on fire, Australia was on fire, but not realizing that these are the lungs of the world which was on fire. And now, what an irony that this virus is attacking the lungs itself of human being. Nature's reminding, look, all this plant, the trees, it is very important. If we want to be healthy, we have to care for nature. Not in time of epidemic like now, in time of viruses to be reminded. Nature don't need to remind us continuous like that, no. But we human beings have to realize that we are part of nature. We are part of this ecosystem itself. And we have to care for nature. And we have to plant as much trees so that we can build up that lungs of the world itself for ourselves, not for anybody else. So that's what it is reminding. Also, the positive side about that, where you see that nature, how it is breathing now, and it's so beautiful.
Guruji, this is the last question. Is what is happening now and about to happen in the next decades on Earth, as much as you can reveal, of course, how much is inevitable and how much can be changed for the better by our attitudes?
Look, this situation itself is showing that a lot of things we can change by our attitude. We don't need to wait when nature react upon as a reminder for us to change. And that we have to take certain responsibility in our hands and change. So we don't need to wait that the world come to a standpoint or the world is ending for us to change. So look at yourself and change yourself. Nobody can change yourself. I can't change yourself. God can't change yourself. But you can change yourself. Know that when you have that willingness to transform yourself and change, He will give you all the strength and power to do so. And Guru and God is a reminder of that, that you are never alone, but we are always with you, as a reminder. And that we love you, no matter what, even in all this situation, it is still the love of God, Because He loves all of us, That's why He want all of us to be strong, and really He wants all of us to feel Him, to build up this relationship with Him. So that's it. Okay, good day, everybody.